I know both of you guys have a history of dating, like different.
I can't believe he's
different
making us do
long-term
this.
stuff, short-term stuff, and I have a particular dating story I want to share. But I was thinking disaster dates and bad dates. And I talked to you about this prior to the episode, and your response was, "I've never had a bad
God
date
damn
before."
it, dude, what are you doing to me? Yeah, I've thought about this, and I've talked to girls on dates because it's a fun thing to recount. Like, what's your worst date? Like, you do that on dates about past dates.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think in terms of comedians?
And I've heard women with like
Top 5 fastest.
straight up nightmare
Jesse Warren, who
stories.
else?
And I have
you
nothing
think
that even comes close. Honestly, like the worst case scenario is like somebody's particularly dull, but like every woman I went on a date with has had a situation where their life is in jeopardy. Like, not that.
Wait, hold on. Are you like?
Not with you,
Do
like
you want to be a
pri-
superhero? Is that? Do you want to be a superhero?
Yeah, I want to rest.
Because now that like this is making so much more sense that you're like, I only date women whose lives are at risk. And, no, how do you? So is it just by luck of the draw you're finding women that find themselves in situations that are life threatening, or what?
Oh no. But I think
They
women
have a
have like
story.
so where like they meet a man who's legit like stalker story. Like every woman, not every woman, but most women I talk to have like a stalker story.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You've told me a story. I think this was how you opened when meeting me about the dude who I don't want to like double. You already know.
I'm like, I got a lot of stories.
But
so
do you know which one? Do you know which one I'm talking about?
I don't know.
Well, can I?
Give me a word. Give me a little hint.
I want to give hints without like disclosing the parts
Right.
of it, and then I'll see how close I can get. I think he was. I shook his hand. He was at Laughs one day.
Yes.
Okay.
We're gonna talk about that for
Okay.
my story. Yeah.
That one's really good.
Yeah. Thank you.
But
Yeah.
what
It's really terrible, but really good. Really good story.
But you yeah.
what's your type? Like, because you're saying like, oh, they have all these stories of their lives being in jeopardy. Like, I don't have dating stories where like every time I go on a date that their life was in jeopardy or something. Is there a specific type of girl that's attracted to you?
No. Okay, so it's not every girl, but like I've been on dates with like sex workers and like bikini baristas and like people like within like very public facing like places that attract like creepy men, and those people have
High risk work environment.
They have crazy stories.
I want to know, what are you like on a date?
Wait, I want
like what
Alexa
are you
to start with a date thing.
Okay, yeah, you're seeing somebody now,
yes, I am.
but like, did you do the apps? Did you like? What was your?
Oh, I've done it all, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've had my fair share of dates that have been so awful that it makes you think sometimes. It's like, oh fuck, is it me? Like, is it?
Yeah.
Am I attracting these crazy people, or is it? But then I'm like, no, because the people are very different. Like, you know what I mean? Like, very different interests, different qualities, different traits, but they do the most fucked up shit that I'm like, is it me? You know?
You were extremely patient and open-minded with your dating. I remember when you were telling me some of these stories years ago. I'd be like, you'd say this story, and you'd be like, anyway, we're going out like next week. I'm like, why are you giving this person another chance?
Right. Well, so a guy that has done the most messed up stuff is one of my very good friends now. And like, I love him as a friend. I'm not attracted to him in any way, shape, or form after the things that he did.
Yeah.
But
This is
like,
the guy that I know.
Yep.
No.
I love him as a friend. Like, he's a good
did he
person.
do?
He should be jailed immediately. He should not be let
Yeah.
out of the house.
Okay. Should we just get right into the
Yeah,
story?
no,
Yeah.
All right. So here's the thing with me. I am attracted to more feminine, very comfortable men, like that are not afraid to do something wild and, you know, a little bit more out there, I guess, a little bit more eccentric. Okay. Which is fine.
What does that have to do with femininity?
Because
That's how allergic he is to that concept. He can't even fucking say
See,
it.
and
This
that's why, like-
pseudo
I'm a
masculine
feminine
bullshit.
guy.
But
We're
shut
talking
you
that-
the fuck up.
No,
about
I
it.
am.
Adam,
How? Name a feminine thing you do other than shove tampons up your asshole. What else do you do?
I've never done that.
it makes you less feminine.
Thank you. One strike against you. Keep going.
I mean, most of the shit I like, I would say. I
Can't name one
think it's
concrete
really
example.
funny with comics and comedy in general. We're like, this is basically theater. that we do. Like we go on stage and guys like try to be all like aggro about it. It's like we're being dancing bears, like who want attention and recognition. Like it's not a aggro thing. It's the opposite of that. It's looking for validation.
I agree. It's looking for validation. I don't think looking for validation is a feminine trait. Sorry, I keep going. This
I don't
masculine lug head.
I'm gonna fix this.
Listen, I'm gonna soften up on this episode. And, no, go ahead, keep going.
So he's just a little bit more out there, not afraid to do. Okay, wait, hold on. We got to go back to this. Adam, I would not say that you are a feminine man. From what I know so far about you, you may be a little bit more feminine when you get more comfortable. Mm-hmm. I'm more attracted to like the people that are more, not saying
aesthetically feminine.
No, not aesthetically feminine. It's hard to explain. Like men that like cross their legs or paint their fingernails or, you know, are not afraid to have, like, for instance, when I said that, how you were like, whoa, man, you know, like, it's like, oh, they're open to having, like, feminine conversations.
Okay. Yeah, I think I just don't do that in groups.
Right, exactly. So that's why I'm saying, like, you might be a more feminine man, like, when you're more comfortable with a person, you know?
I had brothers. I couldn't do that.
Right,
They would, like...
Right.
Beat me.
Right.
You
Now,
know?
not saying, that's the thing, is I know that I'm more interested in a feminine man when it comes to, like, getting more serious. When it comes to just banging, straight up like, hey, I'm down to pound, like, muscular man will work.
Okay.
Because I'm looking...
Would you say muscular?
More masculine, muscular. Like, yeah. I'm like, but the thing that I found is that those men, if it's a one night stand, I'm looking for you to throw me around, you know? Yeah. I'm looking to get tossed and, you know, fuck me like you're never going to see me again.
Right.
And the only more masculine men that I date, they're like, oh, like, will you hold me when we go to sleep? Which is fine, but it's like, oh my God, stop looking at me in my eyes. Like, you know,
isn't that interesting?
Like we're going to see each other again. Like hit it from the back, fucking, you know, like let's get crazy, throw me around, you know. And that doesn't end, so it pisses me off. But then I got these skinny white boys that are like, pounding me like they're never going to see me again. I'm like, okay, like, all right.
And then you're like, hold me though.
Right. And then I'm like, or, you know, and no, at the end, usually they're like, all right, I'm actually like pretty sad. So like, if, you know, then I do hold them, but it's still like, they did the work.
God, how nice is it to be held?
It's pretty nice. Yeah, it is pretty nice.
So what, is this normal where like a particularly masculine presenting guy, somebody like Adam, afterwards is just like,
well, yes and no. Like, it's more so, yeah, they're like, it's the eye contact.
I've never seen you do something like that before.
I've seen you do it before.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
That's weird.
When?
No, I haven't. But okay. I could see him. So whenever I get my blood drawn, well, not whenever. Well, this happened one time. And when I'm getting my blood drawn, the phlebotomist is always like, great fucking veins. And then I'm like, thank you. And then I'm like, give me a second. I might, I don't like getting my blood drawn. I get very sensitive. And and there was like, oh, you're gonna faint? I don't think I'm gonna faint, but I get very nervous. And then a couple times I've been like, it is the most like the people who faint are tatted to the gills, and like muscular and like they're like you, right? Okay. So similarly, like I think that's like that's why you do that little that act out I did earlier. That's something you've done post sex, right? Like you want to be held and coddled and treated like a dirty little baby.
I think it depends on like who you're fucking.
Right.
Because if you have no emotional relationship with that person, if it's a one night stand, like it's
so
different. Yeah, like it's not. That's different than how you might be with somebody that you. I mean, you were in a long term relationship. Like, sex is different with somebody that, like, you have that connection with versus just, hey, we're doing this one time. And then it can be good and bad in different ways.
Right. But I don't think it's like, it's different, but it's not like somebody you've only seen once, throw around somebody you love, intimate, kissy. Like, I think one of the hottest things to do is like for somebody, like if you're in you both are only seeing each other once just due to constraints, but like having sex like you love them. I think that's like super hot.
Wait, like, pretending that you're in love with the person?
Not pretending, but like really like making it like so ridiculously intimate.
If I'm into them enough to do that, because some people I get the ick real easy.
Okay, then why are you there?
What do you mean? to
I
get
need
laid.
to
I still
understand
need
this
my
for a
drugs.
second. So you're saying acting as if you're in love.
Like I'll
With
construct
that.
a,
Like very
a
passionate.
reality in my head where
And
like
you're-
I
so
love this
you're-
woman more than anything. Yeah.
That's kind of beautiful.
It's so cool.
I like that you
I
fuck
would
women
use a
like
different
that.
word
I like
for
that.
that.
It's dope. What?
That's crazy to me.
Why?
I mean, because you're essentially masturbating with that person.
What are you talking about?
Like you're using their body. If it's one time, you're never going to see that
Yeah.
person again. Like whatever, that you're using them to get off, right?
if it's mutually like a scenario I'm thinking about
But
is like
that can be both ways.
Right.
Both of you are using each other,
sure, okay.
and there's no real emotional thing. So you just
See, but
pretend.
no, I don't
I don't know
believe
if
that.
like
I
I'm
think-
out of the loop on sex positive, or if
I can have an emotional connection in like 1 minute upon meeting somebody, depending on who they are, and whether that duration is like longer than a day, I think that's independent of how I feel in that moment. And I can meet somebody who I have an intense emotional connection with, that we both know that due to constraints that this is going to be a singular experience, and we can have that crazy emotional connection, and it's hot as fuck. Dude.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so see, and that's why I'm like, I understand that. But for me, like having that strong emotional connection is hard for me to get enough to want to like do it like that
Right,
with someone.
right.
But I totally understand. Like I have had one instance like that. The only comic I've ever fucked, it was in another state. Like when I was visiting and I was like, fuck it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and I don't usually do that. I don't like show where I eat, you know? But I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not gonna fucking see him again. And it was great. Like we, you know, and I was like, damn, that was a really good,
Yeah.
passionate bang.
Yeah.
And I'm never like, and that's
Nice.
it. That's all,
Right.
that's all it's gonna be.
Look at how shocked this guy is. He's
no,
never
I
done
just
this.
my mind, like I know I am reacting that way. I just recently have had a shift in mindset around it because for a
Right.
very long time it was kind of just not having connection around that, and I have recently, and it's just I don't know how I don't know if I'm whimpering afterwards or whatever, but it is different, and I don't necessarily want to go into like all the detail of that, but just how I developed in that way. I had trauma around sex, so
Sure.
like it fucked me up,
Right.
and then you know that made fucking 18 to 24 years old very difficult,
Right. Like you
So
have your guard up, walls up, things like that.
I mean, it was I don't want to like
I bleed during sex. I let it all out. Like I pour.
Pouring
okay.
your heart
For a
and
second, I was
soul.
like not literally.
I know. For a second, I was like, the body of Jesse.
So what happened with this guy though?
Okay, so yes, I'm so sorry for getting us off track so many times. So this guy,
How did we get back to
I
blood
had-
again too? With the phlebotomy, like
Oh, right, blood on the mind.
so I met this guy. We went out, and I was like, oh, he is so wild and fun, and like, you know, not afraid to be anybody, you know. And but I had just gotten out of a really terrible relationship. So the main thing I said, I was like, hey, like the first time we had went to hook up, I was like, just so you know, this is all it's gonna be. Like, I like hanging out with you. You're a cool guy. He's like, cool, I'm not looking for anything either. I'm like, tight, you know, just want to make sure we're on the same page. I know as a woman that you guys have heard this many times before, a girl say this. She's like, I'm not looking for anything serious. It's like, why don't you love me? You know, and it's like, bitch, you told me. So we're hooking up. And then a couple weeks in, I was, you know, we're fooling around. I'm going down on him. And the first thing,
This is
like the first like kind of
incredible. I love
flag
this so
is when
much.
he was like, oh my God, bite my dick. And I was like, what?